after the war ended, we still have soldiers coming back from the fighting to Michigan to reconnect with their families. Most of these coming home are male soldiers, but some returning are secretly women who wanted to fight. Around 650 women enlisted for adventure, to be with loved ones, or for patriotism. I'm currently here with Sarah Emma Edmonds, one of these women who snuck in as a man. Tonight, let's interview her for our local newspaper. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course. To start off, why don't you tell us about how you got into the war?
Well, it all started when I went to be a nurse.
Sarah Emma, now that the war's broken out, I can't sit back and let everything happen without me. What would the other soldiers think of me if I didn't enlist?
But George, you can't go out there. You could die.
But this could be my one chance to get away from the farm, and it would be an honor to serve in the United States Army. Like President Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand.
Well, I'm not letting you go without me. If you can serve your country, then so can I.
The front lines are no place for a woman. You can tend to the war by attending to the farm and selling Bibles.
And stay all cooped up here at the house? No way.
You see, women served their countries by tending to the farms and families, but I knew I could do more. Preserving the Union was such a dear cause to me that it felt like cheating to stay home while George fought. I cut my hair and enlisted as an army nurse named Frank Thompson. I tended to the dying and wounded and saw terrible, terrible things. No one can forget the things that I saw.
Okay, that makes sense. How did going from a nurse transition into being a soldier?
Well, you see, my lover died in the Second Battle of Bull Run, Manassas, and as sad as that was, it motivated me to do more for the cause, and I enlisted as a soldier.
Just let me die.
No, George, don't die.
My George gave the ultimate sacrifice for his country. If he could do this, I could do more than nursing. I had to honor him.
What was the enlistment process like? Was it hard?
Well, at first I was really scared because I thought I would get caught, but the medical tests weren't really thorough, so it was pretty easy to enlist and come off as a guy.
After this, how did you become a spy?
I wanted to do more to get involved and to honor my lover, so I decided to become a spy. I even dressed up like a slave and snuck into a Confederate camp one time.
Hey, what are you doing? The general needs you to clean his tent.
Yes, sir.
Can I help you?
No, sir, just cleaning, sir.
That sounds really dangerous.
Not quite as dangerous as when I was a courier, though. I carried orders between officers and troops in battles and in enemy territory sometimes.
One time, my horse was shot out from under me, and I was forced to use a mule. I was taking a shortcut that required me to cross a ditch, but my mule fell, injuring me in the process. How long I remained there, I never knew, but the first sound that struck my ear was the booming of a cannon, and the first thought that flashed across my brain was, "The mail! The mail!" On crawling out of the ditch, I realized that I had sustained severe injuries. I had no use of my left lower limb. I felt sure it was broken, and the intense pain in my left side and breast made me feel sick and faint, while the bare thought of the undelivered mail drove me almost frantic. I then started for the battlefield with the utmost speed that I could endure, and after extreme suffering, I reached our troops, who had not yet become engaged in action, and after delivering the mail, I went to the rear, where I found Dr. Vickery with the hospital corps and ambulance.
Go.
It sounds like you endured many of the hardships that many male soldiers endured.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of enlisting. We signed up for the exact same thing the males did.
Why did you leave the Army?
You see, I got a case of malaria, but I couldn't go and get medical treatment because they figured out I was a girl, so I deserted. And that's how a lot of women ended up leaving the Army. They had to desert so they wouldn't be discovered.
In the end, are you glad you did this? Do you think it's worth it?
See, when the war broke out, I could only thank God that I was free and could go forward and work and was not obliged to stay at home and weep. So I had to do something for my country. So yes, it was worth it.